In this video, we're gonna teach you how to properly use your clutch. You don't wanna be another one of those whiskey throttlers, do you? What's up, guys? Tyler from the MX Factory. We're at the MX Factory, and today we're gonna show you how to use your clutch properly with 3 awesome tips. So we're a little stuck on our YZ125 giveaway bike. We're trying to decide, do we go black plastics, do we go blue plastics? Comment down below and let us know what you think. Please try and like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Bell notification. Is that what it's called? Tip number 1 is just having a great understanding of the point of engagement, meaning when the bike starts to move, based on how far you're letting the clutch out. The most common thing that we see here with our new riders is they don't know when the bike's gonna take off, so it spooks them when it does, and they kind of get into a panic mode, and we have to kind of start over. When you're pulling in the clutch, the best thing that you can do is let the clutch out very, very, very slow until you feel the bike start to creep along. There's 2 cues there. The bike will start to move a little bit and the RPMs will lower. Now what you want to do from here is pull it in and repeat that as many times as possible until you can almost guess when it's about to happen, right? This is just you getting comfortable to knowing when the bike's about to move. Tip number 2, how many fingers do we use when we're using the clutch? The answer to that, in my personal opinion, is never more than 2. The reason for that is, the more fingers you give up to the clutch, the less grip you have on the handlebars. So if you're using all of your fingers, which we do see often, all 4 of the fingers that are accessible, then you have nothing actually holding you to the handlebar except a little bit of thumb. If you come back down to 2 and that becomes comfortable, that's perfect. If 1 is good for you, you can choose either your pointer finger or your middle finger. Either one of those are great. You obviously don't want to use your ring finger or your pinky finger. That would be super weird. You definitely want to use one of the first 2 fingers. Another thing that's super helpful is having the right pull. Okay, so if you have your lever positioned incorrectly, that pull isn't going to feel real good, and or you won't be able to get the lever close enough to the bars to actually disengage the engine. What we do is we'll loosen the bolts, slide the lever over a little bit to where it's pulling, and the end of the clutch lever is a pretty good distance away from the end of the handlebar. That lets you know that you have good leverage. You're pulling more from the end of the lever, middle to the end, rather than beginning to the middle. Tip number 3, actually making the bike go. A lot of times, you're gonna need a little bit of throttle, and when I talk about a little bit, I really want you to think about just a little bit of throttle to get you going. There's gonna be 2 things that show you that you're doing it wrong. If you do a lot of throttle, the RPMs are gonna be really high before you let your clutch out, and it's gonna kind of feel and sound overwhelming. If you let the clutch out too fast and you don't have enough throttle, it will stall. Oh, again! Shoot. So you wanna make sure that you never let the clutch out fast and that you're matching your throttle with a nice smooth clutch release. So it's kind of like this motion, right? The throttle is working with the clutch. It's not here and then here. It's matching the hands together. We're going, oh. So make sure you work on barely turning the throttle, but you want the bike to start moving, okay? Back to tip number 1, the point of engagement. You want the bike to start moving before you even turn any throttle on. We hope this really helped. We hope that you're taking off smoothly and no whiskey throttle. If you like this video, we got plenty more over here. Make sure to check out all our social accounts down here. Our Instagram is booming. We're doing tips every week. Our Patreon account is growing. That community is becoming awesome.
But don't look at me. It's creepy.